Greetings everyone, my name is Flare Bliss and we returned back to our wonderful adventures of Girls? Let me ask you a question. Have you purchased this game for yourselves yet, or have you only been watching me play it? Well, I suppose both options are better than pirating it. Please don't. That's not a nice thing to do. Ask to Shadow Hayasaka. Me? That feels a little out of left field, but I'm game. I guarantee you won't see anything interesting though. If you're looking for excitement, you should go with Ayahan. Hey, didn't I tell you to stop calling me that already? It's real annoying, you know? I'm not a baby, and you aren't either. Jeez, you seriously care about the most pointless things. Hey, they're not pointless to Ayase, I'll have you know. In another timeline, we fell in love with her. I didn't ask what you thought, I asked you to stop. Hayasaka sighs and shrugs, crossing her arms over her chest. Her demeanor makes it clear that she won't be giving a clear answer to the request anytime soon. It's all those, we're going to put those on hold, but not like we're going to stop it. Now, there is no reason to argue. For the time being, let's focus on getting through the workday. Fine, I've got better things to do anyway. We're finally getting out of here? Wonderful. With that, the five of us scuffle towards the door with me at the very rear. Everyone is eager to get a breath of fresh air at this point. Yeah, being at the rear is a big mistake, especially if Nanase is the second most in the rear. But let us shadow Hayasaka anyways. Once we're on the floor, everyone splits up. Ayase moves to the far right side of the cafe proper. Nanase heads behind the customer service counter, and Kaduki heads back outside with her stack of flyers. I follow Hayasaka to the left side of the cafe floor, where a surprising number of customers are seated, given the time of day and the fact that the place has barely been open longer than an hour. Try not to tail right behind me or anything like that. Don't want to intimidate anyone by accident, right? Want our customers to come back. Are you saying that we are not attractive enough to allow the customers to continue being here without the feeling that somebody is going to be on looking? Fine, we'll just watch from afar. I'll be careful. Actually, why don't you take a seat at that table over there? It shouldn't get much busier than this, and it'll keep you from standing in anyone's way. Are you saying that I will be standing in someone's way, you cheeky maid? Admittedly, I'm impressed by Hayasaka's quick thinking. It's difficult to grasp one's personality traits when you've barely spoken to them. But I already get a sense that she works well and under pressure. Good idea. Thanks, Hayasaka-kan. Of course. As I take a seat at the table in the corner, Hayasaka makes her rounds. She ensures the customers whose orders haven't been taken yet are served, and then checks up on those still dining. Despite running back and forth between tables, moving from corner to corner, not once does she break a sweat or show any sign of vulnerability. That is a sign of somebody who is, without a question or shadow of doubt, in control of the situation. Then again, if this is what she does day in and out, it's no wonder. It must be quite the workout. And that's not even considering the emotional labor it inevitably takes to wear a smile and fulfill each and every master's fantasy. Okay, maybe not all of them. Of course, that goes for each of the girls, and soon myself as well. Thus, I make sure to commit every potentially useful customer service technique I witness to memory. Hey. All of a sudden, Hayasaka is standing in front of me, her nose merely inches away from mine. The woman can move like a phantom. I reflexively jump on my seat. Would you please just show some consideration towards your new manager and maybe actually not appear and disappear like you've just teleported? Oops. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have laughed at that. Huh? Especially not to a manager. That was really disrespectful of me. Don't worry about it. Can you afford to be so casual about things like this? If you're too easygoing, we're all going to take advantage of you, you know. Trust me, you won't be able to, okay? And this is my first day here, so just have some carefreeness of your own towards your new manager. It'd be a big problem if Natsuki sets her sights on you, too. She isn't the kind to let a weak spot pass by her unexploited. Thank you for giving me the heads up. You may have a point with that first thing, but it's not good to put down your co-workers to your superior. If you have a personal problem with Nanase, you should work to resolve it with her. The sad part is you aren't wrong, but it's not like... Never mind. Sorry for bringing up. This is starting to, kill my mood. Why are you always kind of self-absorbent, Hayasaka? I'm going to get back to work before I scare anyone away with my gloom. You've already just called your new manager. Perhaps that's for the best. Keep up the good work, Hayasaka-can. Thanks. I'll try. Ayase eagerly returns to her customers, her body language instantly becoming uppity once more. Before long, it's time for both of us to take a lunch break, so I head to my office and make myself comfortable with my new surroundings. Watch Hayasaka again. I turn my gaze to Hayasaka, who's busy chatting with a table of 4 customers. It's a wonder she's able to engage with all of them like that. So, one thing that has been aching at my mind is... when I try to do Ayase second on my Ayase playthrough, another character out of the other 3 came up on the option of being able to go about that sort of way. So I wonder what is the trigger of being able to get the maid that you want to appear after the second outing of conversations to be able to get the one in which you want to pursue as the one that will pop up. Is it the first one or the second one, or 2 but then another one comes out by just random chance? I don't know. Alright, so that was 2 Doki Doki Omurice meal sets. One with green tea and one with coffee. 1 order of strawberry cake with cafe au lait and 1 taramasi with hot chocolate. Is that right, masters? The customers respond in the affirmative. One after the other, Hayasaka, despite being a very energetic and spontaneous person, sure knows how to organize people. It's an impressive gape mo for her. Let me just get that for you then. It'll only be a couple of minutes. I hope my dear masters will wait for me. Of course we will, Hayasaka-chan. I'll wait till the end of time for you. Simp 1. Hayasaka-chan, when you talk like that, you're cuter than any of the girls I know. Simp 2. Happy you think so, master. I really enjoy being cute. Are you single, Hayasaka-chan? No. Wouldn't knowing that ruin the fun, master? Sure, pure-hearted romance fantasies are nice, but isn't there also a certain appeal to stealing me away from someone? And not knowing what the gender of that person might be just adds to the excitement too. Look, at the end of the day, if you truly love someone, it doesn't matter what is under the hood. I'm not much of one of those guys. Simp 3. The pure romances were more of my thing. I'm just a guy. So you're going to just ruin things for me? Or am I stealing Hayasaka-chan from someone else? You guys. Sorry, Hayasaka-chan. Those 2 are such a handful. No need to apologize, master. I'm here to serve your every command. That really is not true. To a certain extent, in this culture, in this environment. Speaking of, I should probably take care of your orders. I'll be back in a few. Wait for me, okay? We'll be waiting for you. Hayasaka's crowd control skills really are something. I bet she'd be a star, one of those players, if she isn't already one in secret. Hey, what you doing over there? Not slacking off, are you, Mr. New Manager? Wait, that kind of came out wrong. I'm just, trying to tease you. Not be antagonistic or anything. I'm just working. Just working. Or should I put that wasn't nice? I'm just working. Nothing special, sorry to disappoint. Ayase nods and smiles, brushing a lock of hair out of her face as she does so. Gotcha! Well, just to be clear though, it's not like I'm actually disappointed. I was just curious. You know, sometimes my little sister says I'm too curious. Maybe she's right. I tend to talk first and think later. So if you was a martial artist or anybody that has a tendency to punch or kick, you do that before actually conversing with words. So what brings you out here? Just want to change of pace? Not exactly. I'm trying to learn more about the way the cafe operates, so I'm taking notes. Oh, in other words, you're spying on us? If you call it like that, then possibly, but it's more data gathering. Hayasaka's teasing tone makes me strangely guilty, like I'm doing something inappropriate. Maybe it'd been better to tell the girls what I was doing instead of just showing up like that. No, it's better that you're actually doing it this way, because then they don't know that they're being watched. Not many managers hide in the corners of spying their employees. I must look like some sort of stalker or voyeur. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. I won't tell the others. As long as you don't give me any reason to. Aren't you the cheeky one? For as cute as that sly grin is, it sends a shiver up my spine. This girl is the type to milk a person for all they're worth whenever she feels like it. Yeah. That deserves a head pat. For the most part, Hayasaka doesn't give me nice boot vibes, and for that I'm eternally grateful. A cafe full of adorable cross-dressers is one thing, but a cafe full of psychotic, murderous, overly clean women? Now that is a different story altogether. Now that would be too much. I like my head where it is, thank you very much. I like my body where it is, all in one piece. You're getting some weird ideas, aren't you? Excuse me? What came on with that kind of story? Well, don't bother lying about it, I'm not dumb. I don't feel like prying anything out of you today, though. I've got enough dirt on you for now. And I've got enough dirt on you, Hayasaka Katie. If I take things any further, you might come after me. Maybe I went too far already. We're talking life or death here. I can't help but respect Hayasaka's ability to weave a narrative on the fly as if it's nothing. I have the distinct feeling she'd be an amazing writer, or at least gossip columnist. I'm glad I did not muck that up by saying communist. Then again, for all I know, she's already a writer. I have bigger fries to worry about. But I am very curious, and when one's curiousness is bigger than their emotions, you can kind of make some awful decisions. You'd make an excellent writer. I know. Wait, what? Where in the world did that come from? You have no trouble coming up with wild stories out of nowhere. It's impressive, really. I'm not nearly that creative. Hayasaka stares at me bewildered. It's only in the silence I realize my words could easily be taken as an insult. Are you saying that writing is a bad profession? It took a lot of writing to make this universe in the first place. I mean that in a good way. I'm not making fun of you or anything. I swear. The last thing I want is to make enemies with any of my co-workers, at least not in the first 48 hours. Oh, silly, I didn't take it like that. No need to get all worked up. Well, it's a death stare that you just drifted towards our way. I just wasn't expecting you to compliment me on that, of all things. Nobody's ever said that to me before. About to be a good writer. There's a strange glimmer in her eyes. It's half wistful, half dazed, wholly deceitful. It was just an offhand comment, but it seems like I've accidentally discovered someone's abandoned dream, or a dream in which they have never even realized that they had. But it's just an expression, right? How could you be so sure? Well, that's because it's the same expression I've seen countless times in the mirror. Damn, I mean it. I think you're talented. Ah, thanks, Florina-san. Hayasaka's lips part like she wants to say more, but she just strokes her head and smiles as if she's shaking off the nostalgia. Anyway, I should probably get back to work. I didn't realize how much time had passed. Time sure flies whenever I talk to Hayasaka, it seems. It's not every day you meet someone who's so oddly abrasive yet outgoing. I feel like I could benefit a lot from trying to be more like her. Talk to you later. Talk to you later, alligator. I spent a bit of time wondering when I stumbled upon a girl. A very fashionable girl that just so happens to go by the name of Hayasaka. Hey, Florina-san. What a coincidence. What are you up to? Need help looking for anything? I'm an expert at shopping. Well... Where do you like to go? What are the best stores? Well, what are the best stores here? I'm curious to know. In general, anywhere here is good since the competition is all lined up. The prices are competitive too. That goes for everything. Food, clothes, electronics, you get the idea. I know that Hayasaka explicitly avoids mentioning otaku goods, despite that being one of the shopping center's main attractions. Maybe she's just not into that thing. While I'm curious to know why she skipped over the otaku shops, now probably isn't the best time to ask. But there are a couple of shops that tend to have the lower prices. Ayase lists out a number of shops, one fortunately being the grocery shop I just exited from. Still, I'll have to remember the others in case I need clothes or a new computer or something. Awesome! Thanks for the tip. You're welcome, anytime. Need help getting anywhere? Actually, I'm already done shopping. I was about to leave before you showed up. Oh, really? That's too bad. Maybe we can, go on a shopping trip sometime? When I imagine shopping side by side with Hayasaka, it looks an awful lot like a date. A perfectly heterosexual date. The more vivid the image becomes, the more nervous I get. What if people think we're a couple? Won't Hayasaka be annoyed since we're both... No, don't go into that territory. When two people are in love, it doesn't matter what's under the hood. Wait, is Hayasaka interested in men or women? Or both? Or neither? Does she even consider herself a guy? Is she even single? The amount of questions swirling my head makes me dizzy. The worst part is, I know this is putting the horse before the cart, but I'm just so damn curious. I really want to ask, but I know I can't. It's not now anyway. As time goes on, you will find what it is that Hayasaka is really interested in. Hey, Florina-san, are you alright? Yeah, no problem at all. Oh my, if it's in Florina-san, Hayasaka-san. Making good choices will mean that both of these characters will appear. Sina stops a few steps away from us. Sina-kan, fancy meeting you here. Sina-kan, you're looking cute. Thanks, Hayasaka-san. Of course, you're looking quite cute as well. You think so? I do. Don't you agree, Florina-san? You're... Wait a minute, this is usually at the bottom here. You're both cute, okay? You mean I have to pick? I don't know. You're both really cute. Thank you. Not every day I get to be put on the same level as Sina-kan here. Please, Hayasaka-san. If anything, I'm happy to be compared with you. You don't really mean that. You're the model here. I don't see how that matters exactly. But now that you remind me, I'm actually here to work. I'm just taking over for a model who called in sick. They seem to have contracted a virus of some sort. It's quite unfortunate. I hope they're alright. I didn't realize they did photo shoots at the shopping center. There are studios on the upper floor, along with a couple talent agencies. Ah, I'm sorry, but I have to run. It was nice to see you both. No problem. See you at work tomorrow. Goodbye, you two. Take care. Goodbye. Sina leaves as abruptly as she arrived, effortlessly blurring into the crowd. Ah, I should probably get going. Same. I'll probably have to run to the shops before they send out the new lines. What a pain. I should have gone straight there, huh? Oh, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy spending time with you or anything. Yeah. We'll see about that. Just bad timing was all. No, it's called good fortune, thank you very much. Run into your manager at the shopping mall. I know the feeling. It happens. Talk about foot in the mouth syndrome. It's happened so much. I might as well... Anyways, let's move on. That's one way of saying it. Not how I would have worded that sentence though, but it makes for quite the delightful sight when Hayasaka realizes what she just said. I did not just say that. Don't worry. It never happened. Great. I'm talking way too much. I'm sorry. I really have to go. No worries. Don't let me waste any more of your time. I'll see you tomorrow at work. For sure. Bye-bye. 1 second Hayasaka was smiling at me, but next she disappeared in a blow of pink, speeding up the stairs and to the upper floors, at a speed in which scientists have yet to fathom out how to measure it because it's just so fast. It all happened so fast, I'm left wondering how many people got trampled from Hayasaka's desire to go shopping. I have to admit that I'm impressed with how fast she climbed those stairs. Last time I saw that kind of speed, I had the Olympics on TV. And it was from Usain Bolt. Unfortunately, her physical prowess does not inspire me to jog back to the apartment. I take my slow, casual stride all the way home. In my defense, I've got a couple of bags of groceries hanging off each arm. That's got to count for something, doesn't it? Talk to Hayasaka. I watch Hayasaka for a moment, wait until she steps into the kitchen to prepare an order, then head over. Hey Florina-san, what's up? I thought you might need a hand over here. Aw, what? You don't think I'm capable enough for the job? I must have left a pretty bad impression on you. Hayasaka is the worst. Oh, dearie me. I really want to see what happens when you select that option. Hayasaka is just the downright worst. Yep, you're the worst employee ever. Just watching you makes me cringe. I can't stand by while you struggle. Hayasaka purses her lips, doing her best to suppress her laughter. She takes a moment to recollect herself, then gives me a flux annoyed look. Ugh, you're a real jerk of a manager, Florina-san. I can't believe you. It's normal for a girl to struggle with the cash register every now and then. If I'm not careful, my nails will break. So cruel, so cruel. I hate you, Florina-san. Even though she's only pranking me back, her words still manage to leave me bruised. Not only is she a good storyteller, but she's an amazing actress as well. How many more hidden talents does Hayasaka have? I'm captivated. I'm sorry, Hayasaka-san. I took that joke too far, I realize that now. It was unprofessional. Please forgive me. I'll consider it if you help me with a couple of things. Anything to make it up to you? What do you need? Why don't you start the rice cooker for me? There's a rice cooker here? Well, yeah, it's a lot easier than using a pot. That wasn't exactly what I meant. I figured since this was a cafe, any complex meals would be frozen or something. Are you saying that rice is complicated? If you're gonna say that rice is complicated, then I don't know what to say. Rice isn't that hard to make. Freezing it just ruins the taste, so why bother? Exactly. Good point. So where is it? Over there. You store it in room temperature. You don't freeze it. Goodness sakes. This is worse than somebody saying that to preserve a cream cake that's already been splayed out onto the cake, you have to freeze it so the cream preserves. Yes, cream can preserve, but only if it's still within the freaking tube. Hayasaka points me to the rice cooker and I sigh. The thing was literally a couple feet away from me. Anyone with a proper set of eyeballs would have spotted it. I hear Hayasaka laugh at my realization. Not that I can blame her. What are we making? Almond rice, of course. What else? For all I know, it could have been teriyaki or orikuden. What are you, a foreigner? Perhaps I am. And what if I am okay? Doesn't make me any less. Actually, it'd be pretty cool if you were. I don't know many people who've lived overseas. I've traveled overseas before. I've traveled overseas before, not for too long though. Oh really? That sounds exciting. I'd like to visit another country someday, too. Maybe somewhere in Europe or North America. If you're gonna visit the UK, could you please come to my house? I'm kidding. Overall, I think my number one... oh, yes, of course it's gonna be France. For both the kind of maid outfits, but also for the fashion sense that Hayasaka would overly be interested in. Overall, I think my number one... the place I'd like to have to visit before I die is France. It's the fashion capital of the world after all. You'd fit right in there. Of course I would. Anyway, enough of that. Is the rice ready yet? The egg is almost done. I think so. Okay, grab one of the measuring cups and plate it. Use the shape of the cup to keep the rice nice and neat. Exactly. I do my best to create a clean square shape on the plate, but patches of rice escape my attempt. It's best if you put the plate on top of the rice and then flip it upside down so that the rice doesn't escape. Since I don't know what kind of timeline we're working on, I don't want to mess anything up. I immediately bring the plate to Hayasaka. Without warning, Hayasaka nearly throws the pan at me. I duck at the last second only to feel a bit of weight added to the plate I'm holding. When I open my eyes, she's dropped the partially cooked omelette atop my mound of rice. I'm both shocked and impressed with how she's managed the whole thing. And that's how it's done. Hope you're taking notes, because I won't be doing that again. At least not until someone else orders omelette rice. I don't think I'll be making that anytime soon, which is probably for the best. Probably, yeah. You know, I never realized just how skilled you girls have to be for this job. I hope the pay is worth it all. There's more to this job than just the pay. I'm glad Hayasaka is happy to work here. The girls do get along really well. I feel like probably the most sour relationship of any of the girls is Hayasaka and Ayase, really. I think it's some kind of superiority complex, whereas Nanase and Ayase don't have that, even though Nanase is kind of the peak of the maids when it comes to hierarchy. That said, if this place would go under, there's plenty of skills that can carry over into the next job. I'd rather we keep our doors open though, exactly. Okay, I'm going to bring the plate out. Thanks for your help, Lerina-san. You're welcome. I'm going to get back to work then. Have fun. You too. I think it just goes without saying that you should be immediate rather than saying you're busy. Both outcomes lead to you being outside, but yeah. Out of the two, Hayasaka is always going to be the most sour towards us. Nanase has some room for, you know, a conversation, but this is our time with Hayasaka. It wouldn't be right to leave without saying anything. It's one thing to be a goddamn manager. It's a whole different thing to be a goddamn person. I may be the former, but I refuse to be the latter of the two. I decide Hayasaka is the more approachable of the two. Not that Nanase doesn't deserve an apology, but it's probably the best I let her cool down before talking to her. Hayasaka felt more like collateral damage during the whole debacle than an engaged combatant. I finish up the mopping just as Hayasaka carries the last of the promotional displays into the cafe. Well, no reason to get cold feet now. Leaving my cleaning supplies behind, I make my way to the front of the cafe, ignoring the doubt itching at the back of my head. Hayasaka-san? Got a moment to chat? The maid regards me with a frowned brow. Slightly annoyed, I understand. She'd rather just call it a day and leave. For a moment, Hayasaka stays frozen near the door, eyeing me. She hasn't changed out of her maid outfit yet, but I half expected her to bolt out of the door anyway. I breathe a sigh of relief when Hayasaka abandons the cafe's exit and walks over to me. She crosses her arms and averts her gaze from me, her eyes instead taking an interest in a salt pepper shaker set on one of the tables, hopefully to then throw them at me in combination. What is it? This is it. Don't screw up. I just wanted to apologize for my behavior this morning. I acted out of line with you girls, and you should have conducted myself differently. I don't want this kind of rift between us. I value all of your working here, and hope you'll find some value in me too. Hayasaka's eyes flash over to mine. I swear I see a vein popping out of her forehead. That's it? That's all you have to say? I mean, yeah, I'm a bit newer to this, but yeah, it shows. Where'd you pull that half-hour's apology out of anyway? Some 101 level textbook? How about if you really want to apologize, you actually start caring about us as individuals instead of as company assets? Okay, you're being really harsh here. What are you talking about? Of course I care. Really? You really care? She's practically shouting, with her hands pressed firmly against her hips. Yeah, I saw just how much you cared about us when you announced a cut hours in half without even discussing it with us first. Did you think we wouldn't mind? That we'd be all like, yes, Manager Sam, please cut my pay in half so that you look good to your boss for saving money. I don't mind in the slightest. For goodness sakes, if I told you first, you would still be like this anyways. That's not what. Hayasaka's demanding eyes glare into mine. She waits expectantly for an answer that I don't have. When the only response I could come up with is silence, Hayasaka shakes her head. That's what I thought. Natsuki said this was like a home for us. Do you even know what she meant? I'm defeated. I shake my head. No, every job I worked in the past was a grind. I'd clock in on arrival and then spend the next 8 or so hours wishing for the day to end. There were good people to work with that made the day tolerable, sure, but I never once considered any of those menial jobs to be home. Well, let me spell it out for you. This is home because we can be ourselves here. A place where we boys can wear the cutest maid outfits in the world and just be ourselves. That is a good point. Not everyone likes me for who I am. The same for Nanase, Ayase, and Sina. But when we're here, we're family. We can depend on each other. I'm sorry. I never thought of it that way. Of course you didn't. All you could think about was the business and its numbers. Well, then, Hayasaka-san, if you think that you have a better alternative to this scenario where by cutting our hours in half would not somehow decrease the amount of red that we're in, then yeah, please provide us with a different scenario. That's not at all what a manager is supposed to be. Why'd you even bother with a business degree if you couldn't even understand that much? That hit hard. I slumped back, recovering from multiple fatalities she'd inflicted on me. Isn't this what they call it, a flawless victory? When I started working at this cafe, I wanted to prove to myself and my family that I could do something of value, that I could see something through to the end. Look, Hayasaka, if you saw what the finances were like, you would think that us starting with ourselves underwater, you'd think that would be something that I could do in order to get things around, but no. What I never wanted to do, though, was to derail this train into a fiery crash. I'm sorry, you're right. I never even considered what you girls were going through. Maybe I don't belong here. Hayasaka's sister must have been angry for the same reason. She'd alluded to just as much. The numbers are important, but I should have put more effort into considering how these changes would personally affect the girls here. I never even imagined the importance this cafe holds for them. Valerina-san? I'm sorry. That might have been a bit harsh. Shut up. You meant every word of it. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I've done everything wrong since I got here. I can't help but laugh. I guess I don't know what being a good manager is about. I wish I did. Then maybe I wouldn't be such a burden on you girls. Actually, I think I might just have an idea. What's that? How about I teach you how to be a... Okay, that's the last straw, okay. Hayasaka-san, I like you and all that, but you really are crossing the line here. You? Teach me? Have you ever been a manager before? No, of course not, but I know enough about this cafe to know what we need out of a good manager. Well, you're not helping anyone the way you are now. She's right, I could use all the help I can get, but is Hayasaka serious, or is she just pulling my leg? Yeah, I think we'd better call it a day. I appreciate the thought, but I'd rather not. The day has been long enough as it is, and Hayasaka already looks exhausted. Or more or less fed up. I'm pretty sure that Nanase already left. probably to rest herself. And with Hayasaka not having any managerial experience, I hate to accept her help and then be taught the wrong thing. She means well, but sometimes having the wrong information is worse than having no information. I better let her down lightly. I appreciate the offer, but it's already getting late. You look like you need some rest. Are you serious? I have all of tomorrow to rest. I know, but I don't want to keep you. Don't want to make your sister worry. I try to keep the tone light, but Hayasaka just droops her shoulders. I can see she's disappointed. For a moment. She stands there awkwardly, looking around like a lost puppy. Fine. She disappears to the back and changes. When Hayasaka returns, she's in her casual clothes. I feel pain against my heart, like I've done something wrong. This is for the best though. It's always a short-term loss but long-term benefit. If you want to be a good manager, you need to actually put in the effort. I start to respond, but she walks out of the door before I even have a chance. The cafe is so dead being this empty. It reminds me of those zombie movies where characters hole up in a mall while the undead gather outside. Except all of the undead are Hayasakas. We only need one to terrify us, but thousands of them would just make us faint on the spot. With people, the cafe is a lively place, but without anyone, it's almost creepy. I let my mind wander for a bit, and finally, as the dust settles over Akihabara, I finish closing up the cafe. Today was a bust, but tomorrow doesn't have to be, because we're with the more tamer pairings. Hello, Ayase, are you really worried about your friend? I stop just as I grab the door handle and find Hayasaka standing behind me. She's got her hands clasped together over her chest, holding on to her phone. I'm going with you. Hayasaka-san? Najiki is... If something's happened, I want to be there. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I'll say to Hayasaka, I have noticed out of the three, she's the closest to Nanase. If something had happened, Hayasaka may be the only one to help pull Nanase back together. I'm praying that won't be the case, having Hayasaka by my side though. I feel a little more prepared. Sina-kan? Sina jumps to attention when I mention her name. She's worried sick and I don't blame her, but I need her right now. Make sure the cafe opens up on time. I will. We'll call as soon as we can. Ayase gives a nod. She's trembling but doing her best to hold it together. That helps to ease things up for me. If Sina had to open by herself, I'm not sure she'd make it. Sina is a bit more fragile than most other girls. She can lean on Ayase if she needs something. Flarina-san, let's go. Hayasaka is in a hurry. I don't blame her. I am too, but I've got to ensure the other two can handle the cafe with 3 people missing. Sina-kan, you need anything? You call. I write down my cell phone number and hand it to her. She takes a slip of paper and presses it against her chest. Satisfied, I open the door for Hayasaka and we both exit the cafe. Cafe. Fortunately, Hayasaka already knows where Nanase lives, but saves me from having to navigate through Akihabara or whipping up my phone in order to get GPS and all that to work. She already knows the route that Nanase usually takes to work, so if something happened on the way, would have a chance of finding her en route. She's fast too. Speed walking is a struggle. It's a struggle keeping pace with the Lilac maid. She wastes zero time, eyes always focused on the next light, ready to detour us at a moment's notice. The fewer stops, the better I take it. Has anything like this happened before? Hayasaka offers me a brief eye contact, then blinks her gaze back to the road ahead. No, not that I've known her. She lets out a sigh when we eventually force to wait at a stoplight. I hear her curse under her breath as construction work prevents us from taking an alternate route. I decide to try and start up a conversation. There's some things I generally like to know about the two, but I also want Hayasaka to stay calm. Maybe some chit-chat will help relax her a bit. You two start together at a cafe? No. She was there when I started. 4 years, I think. I know she was one of the original staff. That's impressive. I'm surprised she wasn't bumped to manager. Hayasaka lets out a sarcastic chuckle. I turn to comment, but our light changes, and the maid is on the move again. I hurry to catch up to her, matching the girl's stride as we continue on our way. She didn't want a blank job. Excuse me? Gee, thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, really now? After all of your snarky comments from the other day? You're doing better than I thought you would, honestly. Really, after from the previous day's antics, from going from you're such a crap manager to you're doing a better job than I thought you would, but you're still doing bad. Thought I would crash and burn, did you? Your words, not mine. You have to admit, though, you were a bit of a dumpster fire. Excuse me. You didn't really come off as being approachable, for goodness sakes. A smile, at least I pulled that from her. I try to laugh off her comment, but it stings all the same. I don't know if I was that bad, but I haven't been great either. Hopefully that's changing. We'll see about that. We both have a chuckle and silence falls back upon us. It's less awkward, but the tension is still there. It does help, but there are fewer people wandering around the streets now that we've left the busiest parts of Akihabara. She's on this street. If we had a jump in our step before, those words just lit a fire under our butts. Hayasaka took off in a full run, and I hit full speed just to try and keep up. Ayase may have been the athlete of the school, but of the group, but Hayasaka was no slouch either. I barely kept pace with her, and she spun out ahead of me once she hit the exterior stairwell to the apartment complex. Our feet pounded up the metal staircase until Hayasaka took a sharp turn to the right. And when I caught up with her, she already had her fist banging against the apartment door. Natsuki, are you there? You have any idea what time it is? I reached down and pressed on the doorbell just in case I can hear the faint chime of the bells from inside, and so I gave it a few more presses. You better be in there. She's practically shouting, but no one is coming out. If Nanase isn't here, I can't help but wondering where she could be. Was there an emergency? Or something more nefarious? Hayasaka's pounding gets louder and harder. She's getting desperate. I hear the doorbell one more time, but I'm convinced she's either not home or she's unresponsive like a zombie. Both of which have my heart pounding my chest. Then the door opens. Hello. Hope you're doing well. What are you two doing here? What are we doing here? What are you doing here? With Nanase opening the door, there's bags under her eyes, and she appears to have just woken up. What do you mean? What am I doing here? I live here! The three of us fall silent as Nanase finally realizes what's going on. It's like watching a literal light bulb turn on in her head. Her eyes light up with realization as to why we are here. Work? The word comes out as a whisper. Yes, work. You have any idea what time it is? Not to mention ignoring your phone. Let Hayasaka continue. Nanase is helpless as Hayasaka continues to barrage the girl with questions. It's a straight up ass chewing, one that rivals my own father's temper. The in-game father of the manager. An inch out of line and he'd blow his top. To be fair though, Nanase had this coming. Doesn't matter how long she's worked at the cafe, this kind of behavior isn't acceptable, she knows it. You know everyone's worried about you, right? Just what the hell were you doing? I was sleeping. Must have slept right through my alarm. Nanase presses her hand up to her face, wiping away the sleep from her eyes. Even now, she looks like she could trip over any moment. Nanase lets out a yawn, and only then does Hayasaka let up. Is everything alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Just spent all night working on the website. That's what you were doing? Yep. Nanase nods. All night? Did you get any sleep at all? Nanase takes a glance at her phone, flipping through it for a few moments. She eventually shrugs and puts it away. I don't know. 2, maybe 3 hours? You're an idiot. Why would you do that? We needed it done, didn't we? Well, yeah, but... So how far did you get? I figure rather than letting this boil into an argument, may as well ask what she'd accomplished. She's obviously put in more work into the site than I would have ever asked anyone to do in a single day's time. Nearly done. Just waiting on a few things from Kotori-san and Ayase-san. In one night? Well, thank you, Nanase-kan. The sooner the better with the site. You didn't need to do it all like that, but thank you. Why don't you take the day off? Nanase checks the time on her phone again and then shakes her head. I'll be fine. Just let me get changed. You sure? Absolutely. Nanase nods and then disappears into her apartment. She's so stupid sometimes. At least it wasn't anything serious. Why don't you get a hold of Sina-kan and let her know everything's alright? Hayasaka nods and pulls out her phone, poking away. I lean back and let out a long sigh of relief and a laugh. This was it. That stupid website strikes again. But I'm glad that Nanase is alright. I'm sure the other two will be as well. As annoyed as Hayasaka looks, she's definitely a lot calmer, almost giving off motherly vibes with how she harped on Nanase for sleeping in like that. It was sweet to watch, actually. When Nanase does eventually come back out, she's cleaned herself up, but still looks exhausted. Hopefully the day won't be too rough on her. Sometimes when you're really exhausted, something physical can actually help you brighten up, but you still need to get an early night's sleep. The three of us make a long walk back to the cafe with me bringing up the rear so that Hayasaka can give Nanase another earful, and we really do not want to be in earful's distance. I stay out of it this time and just laugh to myself. By the time we reach the cafe, everyone's calmed down and in better spirits, thank goodness. I'm curious if these are brownie points for both characters in some way, but I'm not too sure. I think only Nanase is one that sees us there, but I do not know about the intricacies of said game. Speak with Hayasaka. I decided to speak with Hayasaka. Of the two, I get the sense that she'll be the most receptive to a chat. Oh, after last time we apologized to Hayasaka, she was very receptive, about as receptive as abuse. As much as I wanted to talk to Nanase, our silver-haired star has been standoffish today. I don't think Nanase is in the mood to really talk. It's probably best to let her cool her head, and I can speak with her next time. When the two step out into the dining area, I'll meet them at the door. Valerian-san, we're heading out. Actually, would you have a minute, Hayasaka-san? I'd like to have a quick word. Something wrong? No, of course not. It's more of just checking in. Hayasaka brightens up when I say that. Sure, I don't mind. Nanase looks at us, both dejected. Was she planning something with Hayasaka today? I can keep this brief if you two have something planned. I want to make sure I'm not inconveniencing them. It is after hours, after all, and Hayasaka certainly isn't obligated to stick around. I'd consider doing this during working hours, but apart from the weekends, I can't afford to tie up one of my 2 weekday employees with a checkup. That's alright, I don't mind. Natsuki? Nanase shifts around when her name is mentioned. I suppose Natsuki is only said by Hayasaka, as I've seen throughout the game. She's the only one that... Imagine mispronouncing that. She's the only one that's actually said that. She looks unsure of herself, which isn't like her at all. Let outside, Nanase shakes her head. It's fine. I'll see you later, Hayasaka-san. When Nanase leaves, Hayasaka's expression falls, and I can't help but wonder if I interrupted something. No, you did not. Perhaps I should have waited. No, you did not. No, we're still going through with this. Is this related to what happened this morning? Maybe they came to some kind of agreement, or worked something out and I just interrupted it. Hayasaka looks to be worried. Just don't mention it that you took a peek, but I'm sure Hayasaka knew that you were looking on. Is there something going on between you two? I don't want to come right out and say I overheard them this morning. It's possible Nanase told Hayasaka, but I doubt it. If that was the case, Hayasaka would have said something to me by now. No, it's just... Now, you could just need some space sometimes. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'm sure. She'll be fine. I can always talk to her later. I decide not to press any further. If Hayasaka says it's fine, then I won't meddle in something that's none of my business. Just let me know if you need anything. Not wanting to let things get any more awkward. Yeah, could you return my full working hours, please? That'll make me the happiest maid ever. I move right to the point of the meeting. The sooner we get things started, the sooner we can finish. Anyway, I want to thank you all for your hard work. It means a lot, and I'm glad to have you around, Hayasaka-san. What? Is that all this is? No, it's not. Well, no. I also want to know what you thought of today. What'd you think of the placemats? They were okay. Kind of cheap, but the customers enjoyed them. Exactly. Of course, she'd mentioned the quality of them. Yeah, I get it. Basic printer paper combined with graphics and text doesn't always turn out well. At least she didn't rip a new one like Nanase did this morning. I got the idea from doing some browsing last night. I'm trying to come up with ways to make the cafe more interesting. Are you saying that we, the maids, are not the main flagship that makes all of the interest come to the cafe in the first place? So that's what those things were about? I was so confused when someone showed me that list of questions. I can't but laugh. Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny. You're creative. Let me know if you have any ideas. With a bright smile, she nods her head. Say, are you doing anything tonight? No, not really. Then come shopping with me. I'm ready to get out of this place. One of those days, I understand her, even as much as she enjoys working here. We all have those days that once the shift ends, we're ready to leave. To be honest, I'm kind of ready to get out of this place here too, though why I'm being invited to shop, I have no idea. Sure, why not? We close up shop, flicking off the lights and locking the doors. A few more minutes pass and we're out of the cafe and into the evening. Akihabara air. We arrive at the shopping mall and the place is rather busy. It's not bustling up or shoulder to shoulder crowded. But there's enough people here where sticking close is necessary. Of course, the further into the mall we get, the more spread out the crowds are. It begs a question though. Why am I here? My improv meeting just randomly turned into an improv date of sorts. So, I don't mean to sound rude, but why am I here? Yeah, that sounds rude. And it's because I didn't want to go alone. I normally do my shopping with someone else, but they're busy. So I'm the substitute. I see how it is. Not my first choice. Gee, thanks. I must be making a face because when I glance at Hayasaka, she's taking my expression a little too seriously. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You keep saying, I'm sorry, I don't mean it like that, but yet you say before you think. No worries, I know what you meant. To be honest, I don't think I've ever been the first choice for anything. I release a sad laugh, trying to keep my mood light. Hayasaka invited me out here after all. I don't want to spoil things for her. What about the manager job? I was not the first one either. Nah, I wasn't the first pick of that either. Just the first one to accept the job from what I heard. It makes me wonder about the last guy that took the job. He was pretty quiet. Kept to himself mostly. He was fine, then he suddenly left without saying anything. I nod as I listen. The guy probably left due to the news that Iona laid on him. Personally, I don't blame him for jumping ship like that before it sinks. The cafe's owner is a little crazy. It's impossible not to stress out whenever the owner calls at this point. Something wrong? No, nothing at all. I quickly respond. I don't want my silence to be taken the wrong way. Hayasaka is already concerned as it is. So the last manager was quiet. Nothing like me then, I take it. Well, Ayase-san liked him. We got along just fine. I didn't have any problems with him. Though he never gave off weirdo vibes like you'd... What do you mean by that? What kind of actions do you think I took at the very start of my job being manager of this wonderful cafe? Did you even consider what you're saying right now? Wait, how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? I did not give off those vibes. Hayasaka can't help but laugh at my reaction. I'm playing some of it up, sure, but at the same time I wasn't trying to be one of those after all. You were so awkward to be around, like you didn't know where to look. I felt like you stared at us whenever our backs were turned. Totally creepy. But that's not true. I was just nervous, trying to get to know everyone and figuring the place out. Hayasaka laughs again at me and I cross my arms to pout her. Okay, so it probably didn't help when Nanase flashed me. That's still itched into the back of my head, but I never went out of my way to leer at the girls. I'm not that kind of person. But so goddamn creepy after all. I'm gonna be on my hospital dying bed, and I swear that Nanase flash is gonna be the last image I ever see before I clock it. Well, whatever it was, you weren't doing yourself any favors. I'm glad you're our manager, though. How comes, then? You've insulted us so much, it's sort of like you enjoy this sort of thing. You're working hard for us. It means a lot. Despite all our joking around, Hayasaka is really sweet. In a way, she's the life of the party. I'm glad to have her around. I couldn't do it without all of you. No, you couldn't. She agrees with a hint of smugness to her voice. Then stepping forward, she leads me to a small department store where she window shops with some dresses. We spend some time together flipping through the racks of clothes before Hayasaka eventually checks her phone, and it's getting late, I better get going. Of course. Thanks for hanging out, Florina-san. She lets out a deep breath and swings her arms at her sides. I needed this. It was too stuffy in the cafe today. Too much going on. I understand. Let me know if you ever need anything. Of course. With a wave, Hayasaka hurries off towards an exit and is gone from the mall. Spending time with her outside of work like this was nice. Not having the rush of a cafe between us allowed us both to relax and just shoot the breeze for a while. Hopefully I'll get the chance to do it again with her. For now though, I do a bit of browsing through the mall and grab a few groceries for the apartment while I'm here. With a plastic bag in tow, I head home for a relaxing night and on to another day of hard work, hopefully not being harassed by Hayasaka again. After the life of a party, talk to Hayasaka, who is the life of a party. I noticed Hayasaka poking away at her phone, not paying too much attention to the other girls as they drift off into their own directions. It gives me the perfect chance to go and talk to our lilac friend. She really seemed to enjoy herself there with all the food and drinks that were provided. If I had to guess, I'd say she's texting with her sister over what Katuri missed when she left. Hayasaka-san, how was the party? Florina-san, I loved it. You sure know how to throw a party. Watching the girl toss another text onto her phone before tucking it away. You should have sat with us more. You missed out on some great stuff being tucked away in that kitchen. Oh, really? Like what? Now she had me curious. I spent a good chunk of my time out there with the girls, but the kitchen did monopolize me for a bit with food prep and cleanup. Oh, not much, just Natsuki and Ayase get into a spitball war. I don't want to know what entails a spitball war. Used their straws and crumpled up napkins, had seen her laughing her head off. What? No way. Shenanigans doesn't seem like she would, although she has had alcohol, so... She really doesn't, but she's a lot more loose when she's had a few drinks. And I may have exaggerated a little. A little? How much is a little? Ayase-san fired the first shot from the hip. Natsuki returned fire with a direct hit on Ayasan's forehead. Then, somewhere in the crossfire, tragedy struck. Shenanigans, in a drunken stupor, bumped against Ayase-san and collateral damage. She got hit? Damn. More or less. She took Ayase-san's straw away after that. Ayasaka's dramatic retelling of the events has me laughing. She certainly loosened up with the alcohol in her as well. Though part of me isn't sure whether there's any truth to her story. If she's pulling my leg again, I decide not to argue and go along with it. Shenanigans. The Peacekeeper. Maybe I need to invest in some security cameras to help her out. Oh dear, Hayasaka gets a good laugh from my suggestion, and so do I. It's like there's nothing that could kill tonight's mood. With some of the rougher days we've had, I'm glad Hayasaka enjoyed herself tonight. Your sister was pretty energetic too, wasn't she? Date her and you're a dead man. I did not say I'm dating her, Hayasaka, for goodness sakes. No mincing words, I see. Kotori surely enjoyed herself with a Rakushi course. I think she was only teasing when she offered. Maybe just so she could stir up some trouble for us. But all in good fun in the end. Either way, I haven't planned on accepting Kotori's offer, but it was fun to see Hayasaka squirm over it though. Believe me, I've got enough going on without dating your sister. I think I'm good. Good. I'd hate to send you into an early retirement. Ouch, that's done a little. Now I see where her sister gets those violent tendencies. Must be hereditary. I know my limits. Best to just back away slowly and steer the conversation somewhere else. I'm glad you two had fun though. We couldn't have gotten that website working so nice without your sister. She was really excited you wanted her help. Kotori-chan knows how much the cafe means to us. To me. I'm really impressed, Valeria-san. You've taken this job much more seriously than I thought you would. I thought you'd be like the last one. Was he that bad? No, he just didn't care as much as you did. He was nice, but he was on edge a lot. Maybe that's why he finally left. Not everyone can handle the job, I guess. But you did. Barely. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I've done well enough, but it's enlarged thanks to everyone here. Pretty sure I'm caused more harm than good for a while. There must be something up your sleeve, I know it. What? Some master plan that you're working towards. I mean, why else would you work so hard for a dingy little cafe like ours? First of all, it's not dingy. Second of all, it's not little. Okay, thirdly, it's a cafe. Not like we're raking in the cash either. Yeah, you can say that again. We're still submerged. She stops for a moment, realizing the words that just came out of her mouth is not exactly encouraging to hear one's own employees call their workplace dingy. If we're not a ship, we're a sub. She's not wrong, though on the raking in part of the cafe still isn't in the clear. Our efforts have helped, and I've seen the numbers to know we're improving. But it's not over yet. Hearing her say that, I wonder if she may suspect something. She's not stupid. None of the girls are. It wouldn't surprise me if they figured out something was wrong. Still, I'd rather not say anything. It's something they shouldn't have to worry about. Don't be melodramatic. We're a niche cafe. We're doing fine. Because of you. And you didn't answer my question. Why do you care so much? I care because of how much this cafe means to all of you. And it's grown on me too. Ayase shakes her head. What? She's convinced I'm some kind of conniving villain or something with a grandmaster plan involving this cafe, yes. I have planted bombs everywhere in and out of this cafe. So stop making me feel so uncomfortable or I'm gonna initiate that red button. Well, maybe not a villain, but she's still giving me too much credit here, I think. There's something more to this. You're not telling me something. I can't tell if it's the alcohol in her system that's pushing her this far, or if she really believes what she's saying. No one has cared this much about us. Maybe no one took the time to get to know you girls like I have. No, there's something else. Has she figured out the cafe's in the red? I mean, this is an ulterior motive of mine, I guess you'd call it. But it's because of the girls that work here that I care so much about saving the cafe. I'm not lying to her. I know how to solve this. How? A date. Let me go on a date with you tomorrow. How does this solve anything? Like I'm happy for it. A date? If we go on a date tomorrow, you can tell me more about yourself. Well, what do you say? Of course I'll go with you, but for goodness sakes, like the idea of a date with her is kind of nice, but the actual getting to this point is a little bit mischievous. Of course I'll go out with you. Honestly, if she wasn't going to ask me out, I'll probably have asked her eventually. There's something about Hayasaka that is just so mesmerizing. She's gifted with the art of story. She's beautiful. The girl is wickedly smart and quick on her toes. Hayasaka-san, of course I'll go out with you. How could I say no? Easy. You can't. Well, I could have. The option was right there in front of us. We could have selected no. But Hayasaka took that option away. No one can. Of course she'd say that, but she's not one I'd imagine even the straightest of men would swoon over Hayasaka's charm. What about your sister? She's not going to get jealous, is she? Don't worry about her. She likes you. That's what I'm afraid of. Hayasaka laughs at my comment. I'm only half joking, really. The girl carries quite the punch when she wants to. That day I first met her in the cafe still haunts me, exactly. And it sounds like Katori is no strange to fights. From what I overheard when Nanase and Hayasaka, she did quite the number on our silver-haired friend. If Katori can bust Nanase's lips, I'd be scared to think of what she could do to me. You don't have to be scared. She worries about you. Just like, oh, she worries about me. She came hammering in, giving us all kinds of insults the first time she laid eyes on us. Hayasaka-san. Anyways, see you tomorrow? Of course, tomorrow it is. With a wave, Hayasaka takes off on her own. I wave back, watching her disappear around the corner. What a girl. And such an inquisitive mind at that, I'll be honest. I'm not sure I deserve to go out with someone like Hayasaka. Will I even be able to keep up with her? I suppose there's only one way to find out. Turning towards my apartment, or my own apartment, sorry, I start on the long walk home, ready for tomorrow, ready for my date. Date with destiny. Oh, we start our date here then. I arrive outside of a cafe just as crowds are starting to pick up. It's weird being at a cafe but not going to work. Looking inside, I see the dark dining area of a cafe, chairs stacked up on the tables and no movement whatsoever. It's chilling. If the cafe fails... No, I can't think like that. It'll ruin our date. Besides, we are going to be fine. Exactly. You made it. Yes, in many pieces, but I'm here. I turn around just in time to find Hayasaka standing before me wearing a flowing black skirt, a red crop top with separated sleeves. I'm stunned. Well, it's her casual wear, don't you think? I've seen her in similar dress before, but taking her all in, she's captivating. Something wrong? Cat got your tongue? What? You were spacing out just now. Oh, sorry. I try to think of some kind of response. I'd rather not admit I'd just been thinking of the cafe's financial state. Yeah, let's be honest here. I was thinking about how beautiful you look. I just couldn't stop thinking about how beautiful you look. And she is not going... That's it? What a terrible line. You don't date much, do you? I attempt to butter her up. Looks to have failed. Honestly, it was a pathetic attempt to save face. Not only did I fail, but now I'm being humiliated by my date. No, not really. I admit my lack of date experience and Hayasaka's laugh. It really is so obvious. I'm not exactly much of a catch. I'm not rich, and my looks are average at best. Clearly, Hayasaka is much better off than I am. It's called work and college. Sorry, it's just too hard not to laugh. You really don't have any tact, do you? Well, what should I do then? Follow me. I roll my eyes and hurry to catch up to her, letting Hayasaka leap away into Akihabara, an illitary, just as I thought. We wander through the streets together, sticking shoulder to shoulder amongst the crowds. We're just wandering for a moment, but every so often I catch Hayasaka glancing at different shops. I can't tell if she's looking for something specific or just doing a bit of window shopping as we pass by. So, what made you go into business? Me? Oh, well... I grew up with my parents in the country, but farming life never really caught on with me. It was fine, but lonely. Ah, so you wanted to surround yourself with people and make lots of money? Is that it? Yeah, I mean, something like that. But I also like working with people and I'm usually pretty organized. I see. So you think the cafe is a pixie and you want to clean it up? Or maybe that you'll make millions off us? What? No, of course not. How can she say that about her own workplace? There must be that interrogation that Hayasaka alluded to last night. She'd mentioned she wanted to figure out why I cared so much, but this is a bit of an extreme conclusion to draw. It's my first job out of college. I didn't really know what to expect when I took this job, honestly. But you worked so hard for us. I told you last night I got to know you girls and learned how much this place means to you. It makes me want to fight for you. All of you. Not fight you, fight for you. That can't be all. There must be something I'm missing. Gosh, there's always something missing, isn't there? Before she could make another question, I noticed an advertisement near the mall about a clothing sale. Rather than just run around, why not do something fun? Hey, why don't we check out that sale? Maybe you'll find something you like? Oh, she jumps. You're right, I completely forgot about that sale. And we go in, we wander into the mall. All malls look the same in this universe. We wander into the mall to look around. Just like outside, there's dozens of people wandering the halls of the air-conditioned mall. There are a lot of visual novels which have a lot of CGs which have the same background to them. And it's really nice that this game has, all of the backgrounds are custom. Looks like the clothing store isn't the only place having a sale. Everyone seems to be having something in their window with a discount. People file in and out of the individual stores with arms full of bags and boxes one would swear was holiday or something. Is this Japanese? Is this Japan's own version of Black Friday? This is crazy. Do they always have these big discounts? It's a weekend event kind of thing. They usually have it once a month for their summer sales. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's see what they all have. Taking her by the hand, I lead Hayasaka deeper into the mall. We pass by a variety of shops and people as we walk. There's quite a few places selling clothes, jewelry and other accessories. Those tend to draw the most crowds. We pass by a bakery and a few other restaurants. The aromas are almost enough to pull us right in. Wait, let's go in here. She stops at a rather ornate banquet. Mannequins fill both windows, dressed in elegant summer dresses. One is sporting a flowery v-neck design with a knee-length skirt. The other wears a denim jacket that leaves plenty of midriff showing, while a matching skirt shows plenty of leg for the boys to admire. Unfortunately, that is the case in gyms as well. Some people unfortunately have the goal not to go there to exercise, but to do a lot of window screening, if that is what you could call it. I barely have time to read the name of the store before Hayasaka drags me inside. What is this place? The Northridge line is hot. Hayasaka ignores my question. She flips through a rack of clothing where another mannequin sits atop, posing with an expensive outfit. Hayasaka, if you are daring us to buy this for you, then you're going to say goodbye to the next 2 weeks worth of payment for you. I watch as she looks over each dress before passing it on to the next in line. Every so often, Hayasaka will grab a dress from the rack and use a mirror to model the dress on herself. Nearly every single one she pulls out looks like it'd be perfect on her. After several outfits, she's still gushing over the designs, and I'm just left admiring how beautiful she'd be in each and every one. The more I watch, the more I remember. Didn't Kotori mention something about a French line of clothes back when she first stopped by the cafe? Yeah, we remember that first time. We remember it too well. Maybe this was the place she'd mentioned to Hayasaka. Have you been here before? Yep. With my sister. She's got a friend that works here. I figured it better to ask instead of just blurting out a guess. Hayasaka nods as she answers me, and I just see how happy she is. You must have a lot of memories here then. Kotori-chan got me into cross-dressing. She helped pick out my first dress. Even though she's younger than you, she's a smart girl. You can say that again. I wouldn't be here without my little sis. She's like a guard dog you can talk to. But where is your guard dog right now? She's certainly not guarding you. A what? Then the art of those words leave her mouth as Hayasaka realized what she said. Regret is just written all over her face and I can't help but laugh. Yeah, regret, like the foot thing that you were talking about the first time we bumped into each other at the shopping mall. Because really, that's an accurate description of Kotori. Sorry, they came out wrong. It's okay. I won't tell her. In a weird way, though, I know what you mean. She didn't exactly pull her punches the day I met her. You had it coming, though. Excuse you. You're not wrong. I'm just glad she left me in one piece. We both have a good laugh over my near-death experience with Kotori. As scary of an incident as that was, I'm glad Hayasaka has someone to look out for her like that. Families aren't always supportive of those who are different. To see Kotori embrace her sister, it means a lot to me. So, Ayase's family and Hayasaka's family are very contrary towards this cross-dressing. Ayase's family does not like her cross-dressing, whereas Hayasaka's family are incredibly supportive of Hayasaka cross-dressing. Did you want to buy something for her while we're here? I ask as if it doesn't seem like Hayasaka is interested enough to buy anything for herself. Every item she's grabbed, while it would look beautiful on her, she tossed back onto the rack. Nah, that's okay. Her stuff isn't in yet, and I've got enough at home to go through. Different tastes? Hayasaka chuckles. Very. I should have guessed that. Kotori has a much flashier fashion style than Hayasaka. Take another glimpse at the clothes here. I can't quite see Kotori sporting any of these outfits. How about we move on then? Anywhere you want to go? Me? Did I stutter? No. Then out with it. I can't be the only one having fun here. Of course I'm having a great time. I'm with Hayasaka. How could I not be having fun? This is kind of a common theme throughout with all of the routes. It's always like, how could I not have fun with this person? How can I have not fun with that person? It's a nice feeling to have, but it's kind of repetitive in a stance, in a way. Maybe this date wasn't as tightly planned out as I thought it was. What about the bookstore? I was actually thinking of picking something up anyway. What are we waiting for? Let's go. This time it's Hayasaka that grabs my hand and pulls me out of a clothing store. It happens so fast, I don't have a clue as to the name of the store. She pulls me along down the hall of the mall and we soon find ourselves in the local bookstore. It's a quieter corner of the mall and not as many people are wandering through the aisles. Maybe it's because the deals here are less extravagant than in other parts of the mall. Still, there's quite a few books on sale here. Looking for anything specific? I smile sheepishly. The main books I've wanted were reference books on events planning. I'm looking at doing some bigger events with the cafe down the line to help with income. Like a concert, for example. And because I think it'd be fun for the customers, just some reference books for the cafe. Well, I try to play it off like no big deal, but Hayasaka jumps in surprise. You're thinking this much about the cafe? Why? I lead her into the bookstore, heading back towards reference books. Hopefully, being inside the quieter store at least keep her excitement subdued along with her voice. Because I want the customers to have, just say more fun. They're already having fun, but just put more fun. And you girls too, of course. Really? And because it might bring in more money, but I can't say that. Really. Everyone seems to enjoy the placemats, even if they were cheap. Those were kind of silly, but they were fun, weren't they? Yeah, I guess so. Success! Then why not see what other fun things we can do? I grab a couple of books I've been eyeing online for a while now. The prices are decent and even leave some leftover cash in my wallet. As we wander out though, I notice a sign near the exit of the bookstore. A writing contest. I point out the sign to Hayasaka. The big poster board is decorated with books and pens. It even lists the names of a handful of local authors who will be judging the event. Grand prize gets their short story published. Wish I had the talent for something like that. Hayasaka? Let's keep moving. Her demeanor shifts and Hayasaka loses a smile. Something behind those words catches me. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's like the advertisement alone is tearing into her. What's wrong? This seems right up your alley. Stop it. Hayasaka forces out a weak smile. Thanks. At least someone thinks so. You're going away. Hayasaka sighs and abruptly leaves the bookstore. I hurry up with my bag of books just to catch up. What is it? My parents. They don't think I can write. Right, so there is something that one's parents don't support you on, and that is writing. Creative writing, that is. Why not? Not that I've read anything that she may have written, but just the time I've spent with Hayasaka, she's got a knack for telling stories. A telling of last night's spitball war between between Nanase and Ayase had made it sound like some crazy battle taking place inside the cafe. They think, well, for goodness sakes, that how could they say that? They think it's a waste of time. Not like anyone's bothered to read what I've written. I would read them. Hayasaka-san, it's hard when no one cares, not even your family. What about Kotori-san? I don't want to bother her. She's got enough to worry about. Hayasaka really is a good girl. Not only does she worry about her sister, but she worries about her sister worrying about her. Unfortunately, that leaves no one to help Hayasaka. I guess this is our golden opportunity then. You have anything posted online? Yeah, a few places. I pull up my phone and open up a browser. Okay, give me one. What? She jumps at my question. Acting confused, I suppress a chuckle and hand her phone. I want to read one of your stories. Type it in. Flarina-san, go ahead. I'll find us a place to sit. With the briefest of nods, Hayasaka starts poking away at my phone. Her face is turning red as she types. It's also quite a personal thing as well, storytelling. So cute. I can't take my eyes off of her. For a moment, I forget the words that only just come out of my mouth. She glanced at me a couple of times and I pull my gaze off her. Might as well give her some privacy. I lead us down a stretch of a mall and stumble across a little ice cream shop. A pair of cones later and we're both seated into a small booth. Here, this one. She finally hands me back my phone and hides herself behind the peanut butter fudge sundae she's got. She's going nuts over it as well. Because of the peanuts. I can't stop smiling. I'm getting a window into Hayasaka's world and I couldn't be happier. Looking over my phone, the site she punched in is a hub of short stories and poetry. The story in question, The Tolotamus Tale of Tatsu. I spend the next several minutes reading through the short story penned by Hayasaka. It chronicles the misadventures of a boy who, after making a rather reckless wish, ends up turning into a dog. I'm amazed. The story, while light-hearted and funny, has a great deal of heart to it. As a dog, the boy saves a small child who swam too far into a lake, steals a mouthful of food from a rather rotund baker, and even learns a few life lessons before the end of his journey. It's not quite a tearjerker, but it is a sweet story that leaves a smile spread across my face. Now, those lessons on how to be a better manager make a bit more sense. You wrote this? A while ago, yes. Not many people read it though. True, the view count is pretty low and there aren't any comments either. However, when I look at her profile on the site, she's only got 2 other stories posted, both of which have been around over a year now. It's a damn shame. It's a beautiful story. You think so? You're not just saying that. I've never seen Hayasaka so vulnerable before. It's as if everything hinges on the words that will come out of my mouth. I mean it. That was really good. I'm bookmarking this for later. Thank you so much. She eagerly goes to work finishing her ice cream while I flip through my phone a bit, just to see what the other stories are about. You have to tell me what you think of the others. I wanted to submit something to Fashion Focus, but they're not exactly accepting short stories. I let out a chuckle and nod along as Hayasaka delves into her passion for writing. So we really did hit the nail on the head when we told her about her knack for writing and how she could be a great writer. It gives me a chance to catch up on my ice cream cone while she explains in depth her idea for Tatsu and the misadventures of the canine boy. People just don't understand what it takes to tell a good story. All the little details. One missing screw and the whole thing falls apart. Exactly. She lets out a long sigh and leans back in her chair. It sure is great to finally talk about writing with someone. You're passionate about it, so I want to hear it all. Ayase looks at me for a moment, eventually resting her head in her hands. She stares at me for a few moments, studying me. A long silence passes between us as I finish up my ice cream cone. Why are you so passionate about the cafe, Flarina-san? Are we going to keep going back to the same question over and over again, Hayasaka? The conversation has come full circle. Yep, the more that things change, the more they stay the same. After all this, for me to deflect would be inappropriate, especially after Hayasaka shared something so dear to her. I need to be honest as well. To tell you the truth, I've always been kind of a failure. Started too many things that I didn't finish. Friendships, school, projects. Sounds like laziness. I don't even try to argue with that. Some of it absolutely was laziness. Sometimes, other times, I just lost interest. Like, I had this real close friend after high school. Even went to college with him. We'd hang out and chat, watch movies, stuff like that. What happened to him? Nothing. I came back to class after winter break one year. He emailed me wanting to hang out. Think I intended to respond, but then never did. That was the last I'd heard from him. I can't count how many times I've disappointed people with my crap. But the cafe, I wanted to use it as a chance to turn things around. Actually do something for people I care about. Not give up at the first sign of trouble. That's my real motivation. Ayase takes a deep breath, pondering over what I just said. She taps her fingers against her chin, and I can't tell if she's just teasing me or she actually thinking about what she'd learned. So you're doing all of this just to make yourself feel better? No. Well, maybe at first, but it's more than that now. That's a little disappointing, honestly. I thought there was more to you than that. I'm sorry. That's all I've got. Another disappointed customer. I have a small laugh at the notion. Just talking about myself while others is enough to disappoint them. I'm not sure if that's a failure or a success. Fine then. You're a loser. I get it. That's harsh. But I can forgive you. If you take me out drinking... What? I'm not against the idea. Realistically, we've pretty much spent all day wandering through this mall as it is. A change of pace would definitely be welcome, but that kind of turn? Why? Because you suck. And drinking will make me forget that you suck. And maybe it'll make you forget too. At least my problems aren't so pathetic. Actually, they are pathetic. Hey! Hayasaka smiles and standing up. She offers me her hand. I suppose she's not wrong. She just could have worded that better. Well, no use in arguing. But Lilac made us right, and painfully so. Alright, let's go. I take her hand and we leave the mall. To my surprise, the sun is already setting as we wander out through the crowds. Hayasaka holds my hand tight as she leads me through the streets. I can't help but feel ashamed of myself. I don't deserve someone like her. Of course you do. Yet Hayasaka didn't pull away. Well, she kind of did. But here she is, holding my hand and trying to make me feel better. I'm not going to quit on her, I won't. We hit a local bar, sit down for some drinks. The evening flies by as I slowly work through a couple of highballs. I'm not one to get blackout drunk. That happened enough times in college. I don't need any more of those nauseating headaches. Hayasaka, on the other hand, is throwing back shots of sake, like there's no tomorrow. Easy there, Hayasaka-san. You don't have to literally drown yourself. You're not exactly throwing them down, Flarina-san. I gotta do it for the both of us. Yeah. Just don't overdo it. You don't need much to drink from me. I learned long ago it's better not to argue with a drunk. Like arguing with a stupid person is a battle you never win. And battling with someone this stubborn like Hayasaka is kind of like watching the Third World War emerging. They'll just drag you down to their level and laugh. I have to admit though, Hayasaka can sure hold her alcohol. I was always a bit of a lightweight. It's probably why I don't let myself get too drunk anymore. Even at the party last night I had a few drinks, but just enough to get me buzzed. Ballerina-san? Hayasaka clutches the bottle of sake she ordered, desperately trying to shake out the last couple of drops into her shot glass. We're out. The whole thing is gone? We haven't even been here that long and she's drunk the whole thing? Maybe I should have ordered a full bottle. You got any money? Wait, what did you order? I only had enough for half a bottle. They do that? Hayasaka nods. She lazily points to a sign advertising the bar's prices. Sure enough, customers have the option of buying half a bottle of sake for, well, half the price of a full bottle. Surely it could be like a little more. I hadn't even paid that much attention. I just ordered myself a highball and went from there. But on the other hand, I'm glad half a bottle is all she had. Well, you said you were done when the bottle was empty. It's empty, and so are my pockets. Okay, that's a lot of some money, but she doesn't need to know that. Hayasaka doesn't need to be completely wasting our day. Alright, fine. Let's go home. She grumbles about and I have to help steady her to keep the girl from tumbling over. Hayasaka-san, where do you live? I can walk you there. But she doesn't respond. She just grumbles and rests her head against my shoulder. Great, what now? I guess it has to be, well... What's going on here? Night is settled in over Akihabara, and Hayasaka is barely keeping her legs working. As we walk, any directions I do get for a place are a jumbled mess. I make out a couple of street names, but she gets confused rather quickly. Giving up, I decide to just take her to my place. Hayasaka can sleep off her alcohol and find her way home in the morning. I don't have work, but that's fine. I'm stumbling over my words just because of how ridiculous this scenario is. We reach my apartment, and by the time I drag Hayasaka through the door, she's fallen asleep. It's cute how she presses against me and nuzzles into my shoulder. Honestly, I wouldn't mind so much if it wasn't for the alcohol on her breath. Yeah, alcohol can really stink up the mood. But also, a CG of this is required, honestly. You know, Hayasaka just sleeping while she's on our shoulders and nuzzling us. It takes me a bit to get Hayasaka situated on my couch. Once I have her down though, I sneak my way off to bed. What a day. I can't help but say to myself, the date was amazing. Even with its bumps, I can't think of a better way to enjoy my day off. As I get ready for bed, I think back on everything that happened. From our meet-up to all the walking around we did. It's only when I lay down that I realize how tired I am. Yeah, I can't fall asleep. My head is still racing with the day's events. That's when I eventually pull out my phone and start skimming through Hayasaka's stories. I get about halfway through before falling asleep. Is there something that's going to happen? I wake up and I find my phone sitting in my lap. It takes a few moments for me to realize I'd fallen asleep with the thing in my hand. Check the time, it's well after midnight. It's now grown. I toss the phone onto the nightstand and rolled over to return back to my slumber. But I'm not alone. What did Hayasaka do? She just somehow snuck away into my bed. Laying in the bed next to me is Hayasaka. How did she get here? Hayasaka-san, what are you doing here? Hayasaka stirs in my bed, rolling around until she faces me. Her long pink hair is already suffering from the infamous bed hair syndrome. Her clothes dissevered from moving around under the covers. How long has she been here? What a stupid question. I'm trying to sleep. Couldn't you sleep on the couch? No, too hard. Your couch sucks. I want to sleep here. I can't just kick her out. Alright, try to get some sleep. I will if you stop waking me up. Not exactly the sweetest sleep. Oh well, but alcohol can't be helping her mood any. Good night, Hayasaka-san. She mumbles back something that sounds like good night, though it could just be easy if being leave me alone. It's probably the latter. It's probably best if I don't poke the bear any further. She needs her sleep, and I have work in the morning. Damn. With Hayasaka in the bed with me, she has a extra bit of warmth. I could get used to this. Could is the big word there. Curling up under the covers, I close my eyes and drift off back to sleep. And Monday morning arrives far too quickly. Somehow I managed to beat my alarm by 10 minutes. As much as I'd love to sleep for those extra 10 minutes, I might as well get up. Besides, no reason to wake Hayasaka. Putting myself out of the bed, I gaze over the sleeping pile of blankets that is Hayasaka. I catch a glimpse of her sleeping face before she rolls over and hides it from me. It can't be described any other way. Her long lilac hair draped over the covers, curled up on the bed. She soundly sleeps. I do my best not to make a sound as I gather some clothes and step out of the bedroom. Clean up and prepping some breakfast, I sit down to my usual routine, reading the news while eating some rice. It's a slog just to keep my eyes on the paper. As I skim over some articles about stock trading, a rustling from the other room pulls my head from the paper. Ayase steps out into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes and looking half-dazed. Morning. Work? Yep. Let me fix you. Oh. Did she not just realize that she's in someone else's house? I'm good, but thanks for the offer. Get yourself something if you want, but I'm leaving soon. Honestly, if Hayasaka wants to just hang out at my apartment, that's fine with me. I trust her enough alone here. Hayasaka pours herself a glass of water before joining me at the table. Just water? I'll get something else later. I should be getting home anyways. You're welcome to stay if you want. Get some more rest. Your shift isn't until tomorrow after all. Ayase shakes her head. I understand she wants to be in her own bed with her own things. I don't blame her. Florina-san? She stares down at her drink, rubbing her thumbs against the glass. Something's off. Ayase won't make eye contact and she's fidgeting. Something wrong? I don't want to lie to you, Florina-san. And I don't want to hide anything from you either. Where is this going? What do you mean? Yesterday, you made me very happy. It's the happiest I've been in a long time. The tension grows thicker in the air as she speaks. I hold my breath, waiting for what she's building up to. Although, wouldn't she do something similar like this with her sister, minus be sneak into her bed apartment? But it's probably also the first time that she's spent a good amount of quality time with somebody who isn't with her, who isn't her sister, sorry. The thing is, I'm already in a relationship with someone else. It's a casual relationship, but it's still a relationship. I see. She trembles in her chair, clutching that glass of water until her knuckles turn white. I can see her nerves eating away at her. She bites her lip, resisting the urge to cry. Hayasaka doesn't want to be a two-timer. Things just kind of happen between us. I've known this person a long time, and they really are important to me. I should have said something sooner, but... You want this to be a one-and-done thing? No, I don't. What do you want to do, Hayasaka-san? Hayasaka grows quiet for a few moments. I check the clock. It's not that I want to run out on her, but I do need to get going. The cafe will need opening up for Sina and Ayase. However, with Hayasaka in such a state, it would be cool to just leave her. I'm very sorry for putting you in this situation. But if you're willing to forgive me, and you really want to, I will dump this person and we can see where things go. I don't think Nanase will like that. My heart skips a beat. It's almost too much, but I don't know what to say to her. I have a hunch as to who this significant other might be, just based on what I know of the girls. I get a feeling that Nanase is this other person. Hit the nail on the head there. Those two are far closer to each other than anyone else here. Even though they sometimes bicker, there's something between them. Something that I don't see with any of the other maids at the cafe. I'd hate to get between Hayasaka and Nanase, but just staring into her eyes, she wants this to work. I want this to work. It's a lot to ask for, though. Hayasaka dumping someone that is so special to her, just to be with me. Hayasaka, can I think it over? Of course. Just tell me soon. I nod. I don't plan on keeping her in suspense long. I just want more than 5 minutes to discuss this with her. Especially when it's such a deep thing. Thank you. I need to go through. I need to go though. Will you be okay here? Hayasaka pushes a smile onto her face. I think she realizes how strapped for time I am. Of course. Don't worry. I'll lock things up on my way out. Good girl. Hayasaka leans in, giving me a hug. I appreciate the gesture. And just the touch of her body against mine is enough to quicken my heartbeat. I'll put away and smile at her. Take it easy. See you tomorrow. She nods, waving me off as I disappear out of the apartment and head off to work. I could get used to this. Not really. Don't judge a book by its cover. You've reached your first day of Hayasaka. Congrats. And with that, we are going to be concluding this episode. I don't know how I managed to forget how to speak there, but I think with Hayasaka, it is really a bit of a double-edged sword. On one side of the sword, she is a really sweet person, but on the other side, she is incredibly cruel. And I think that is kind of probably would be the best way to describe Hayasaka in one phrase or one short line. A double-edged sword. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you find this episode wonderful to watch. Hopefully I didn't stumble you enough in order to make you really cringe over the way in which I pronounce certain words. But if you made it this far, then honestly I cannot be thankful enough of your support. But also, like I said at the beginning of this video, please check out this game for yourselves with your own wallet and with your own speed in which you read this game at. Hope you're getting the gist here. Please buy the game for yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next time with Girls Cafe, where we conclude Hayasaka's and then proceed onto Sina's route. And then from there, the arduous, well not arduous, but the meticulous task of finding out how to get to the harem ending of the game. Thank you so much for watching and take care of yourselves.